They said giants only destroy. They said giants only take. But one giant changed everything. This is the story of a boy named Tiny Tom, a family with nothing left, and the young giant who refused to be a monster. His name was Bram. He was taller than the tallest trees, and stronger than 10 men. But unlike the giants in the stories, he wasn't cruel. He was lonely. Wherever he went, people ran. They screamed, not because he had ever hurt them, but because they were afraid he might. So, he spent his days alone, watching the world from the lonely hills, his heart as heavy as his footsteps. Meanwhile, in a small, quiet village at the foot of the mountains, lived a family in a broken-down house. The roof had holes, and the cold wind whistled through the cracks. The father tried his best to repair a broken chair, his face etched with worry. The mother, trying to hide her own hunger, divided a tiny piece of bread among her family. Their son, Tiny Tom, watched quietly. He didn't complain. "We'll fix the roof someday," his father would say, his voice barely a whisper. "We just need to stay strong," his mother would add, forcing a smile. Tiny Tom, wise beyond his years, would reply, "I don't need much. As long as we're together." They all worked hard, from sunrise to sunset, but the crops had failed, the well was nearly dry, and the first chill of winter was in the air. Their hope was fading fast. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, Bram was walking near the village. He heard their soft, tired voices carrying on the wind. Peeking over a large hill, he saw them. He didn't just see a broken house. He saw a broken family, their shoulders slumped with the weight of their struggles. He saw their despair, and for the first time, he felt something other than loneliness. He felt a deep, powerful urge to help. He watched them quietly from behind the hill, a plan forming in his giant mind. That night, under the soft glow of the moon, the giant did what no one ever expected. He didn't break. He didn't take. He built. With gentle hands, he lifted huge stones and carefully patched the crumbling roof. He gathered fallen trees from the forest and left a neat stack of firewood by their door. He found wild fruit trees and left baskets brimming with apples and berries. He even cleared a path to a hidden spring, ensuring they would have fresh water. Silently, powerfully, he worked through the night, his only light the stars above. He wasn't a monster of destruction. He was a creator of hope. The next morning, the family woke up to a miracle. The mother gasped, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Our house, it's fixed." The father stared, speechless, at the sturdy roof above their heads. Then they saw piles of firewood, baskets of food, and fresh water. It was impossible. Tiny Tom, filled with excitement, ran outside. There, in the soft earth, were footprints so large they could only belong to one creature. "Mama, Papa," he shouted, his voice filled with awe. "A giant saved us." While the rest of the village would have hidden, Tiny Tom was not afraid. He was grateful. He took the last piece of bread from their miraculous new pantry and a small cup of milk, and walked toward the fields where the giant footprints led. He stood there, small but resolute, waiting. Soon, a huge shadow fell over him, and Bram appeared slowly from behind the hills. Anyone else would have run, but not Tom. Holding out his small offering, he said in a voice that trembled only slightly, "Thank you for helping my family." Bram knelt down, the ground shaking gently, his massive face now level with the small boy. His voice, a low rumble like distant thunder, was softer than Tom could have imagined. "You're not scared?" Tiny Tom broke into a wide, fearless smile. "You're not a monster," he said simply. For the first time in his long, lonely life, someone saw past his size. they saw his heart. Tears, each one the size of a river stone, welled up in the giant's eyes and rolled down his weathered cheeks. From that day on, everything changed. Inspired by Tom's courage, the villagers slowly began to see Bram, not as a threat, but as a friend. The giant who was once feared became their guardian. He helped farmers plow their fields in minutes, carried water from the spring for the entire village, and stood watch over their homes, a silent, powerful protector. Bram was no longer lonely. He had a home. He had a family. And he learned something truly important. The world doesn't need smaller giants. It needs bigger hearts. True strength isn't found in power, but in kindness.